All right, the spring is here. The weather is gorgeous outside today. So it's time for the March update, the March market update. And I could have done this a little earlier. I know we're a little late, but this time I will say it's not landing in my fault. It took a while to get the stats from the MLS, but we've got them. And after looking at them, probably could have repeated what we said last month. Inventory is again the question. Inventory is up 56% from the same time last year. And if you remember last month, it was up about 48%. So it's continuing to climb. And with that, residential sales are up 6%. Sounds great. They're up. With the real estate market now across the country, we're not sure if sales are up or down compared to the year before. Ours are up 6%, but when you combine that with inventory up 56%, that lets me know that we're going to continue to see inventory on the rise. And we're also going to see days on the market up. It's up 69 days compared to 60 days last month. And remember, in 2024, we were in the 30s and 40 days. So days on the market's increasing. Hopefully with the warm weather and the spring on the Outer Banks, we're going to see that lessen. But I do anticipate to continue to see inventory increasing. Now, the good news is we really virtually have no distressed sales on the Outer Banks. Now, if you're trying to sell your home, I didn't say stressed sales. I know some of you are going through some stress sales. Hopefully, Lynn and I can take the stress out of the process. But the market is getting a little more stressful. But I'm talking about distressed sales like foreclosures, short sales. Really don't have any on the Outer Banks, which is a great sign. Speaking of stressed, it's tax evaluation time. Each county does it every 5 years. So for Dare County, we're on that time. It is time to reevaluate the values. And I've been told that the valuations are going to go up significantly, over 65% for most properties here in Dare County. Most of you will get a letter in the mail later this month, by the end of March, maybe early April. But before you freak out and worry about that 65% increase, because that means your value of your house, if you had a $750,000 valuation, that's up almost $1.3 million. So a significant increase, and that's a lot of taxes. But like I said, don't panic. In June, they're going to meet. Dare County officials will meet, and they'll decide what rate you're going to have on your taxes this year. And they're going to adjust the rate so we're not paying 65% more taxes. That would be very significant. I think it's going to be more than 15, maybe 20%. So it's going to be an increase, but not 65%. So don't panic. Wait until probably July when those new rates go out, and you'll know what the ramifications are. Speaking of the tax, the big change, Lynn and I are curious, what other major changes, huge changes have you seen on the Outer Banks in the last, say, 20 years? One of them, obviously, values going way up. That goes up and down there. I'm talking about big changes that will impact whether you like the Outer Banks or not, whether it's more enjoyable, less enjoyable. An example I've got is beach nourishment. If you remember when beach nourishment first came on back in, I think, 2011, Nags Head was the first town, and there's a lot of argument of who's going to pay for it. I don't own a property right on the beach. I shouldn't have to pay for it. Well, we all use the ocean, and so they are adding to our tax rate, but not significantly. Nags Head has worked great. Kitty Hawk, we started ours in 2017. In 2022, we had the second beach nourishment. It's every 5 years. They study the beach and redo it every 5 years. And personally, I think it's been fantastic. I am right here across the beach on the beach road in Kitty Hawk is my home office. And I couldn't be happier with beach nourishment. I sit a little bit more comfortably when we have a big storm, for sure. And even Southern Shores, Duck, everybody eventually got on the bandwagon with beach nourishment. So I do think it's been a very positive thing for the Outer Banks. Another would just be exposure. The number two major thing, I think we've seen a big change. I've been here for 30 years, and for 25 or so years of that, we've had the same visitor. It's been like Virginia, Northern Virginia, DC, Maryland, Pennsylvania, of course. Can't forget the people from Ohio. For some reason, we love them, and they love the Outer Banks. But for the most part, the Northeast corridor, we didn't even get visitors from Charlotte that much because they would just go south. But man, has that changed in the last 4 to 5 years. Started with COVID, and then we have the exposure from the TV show. Yeah, that's been a big impact on our market. The Outer Banks show, even though it wasn't even filmed in North Carolina, has just brought more awareness to the term Outer Banks. People want to know where we are, and once they do, they love it. We've had clients from Texas, from California, from Seattle. So the exposure on the Outer Banks as a whole has increased dramatically. I think that's something that's going to continue to happen, and we'll see what the impact is on the infrastructure of our beaches and our towns here in the Outer Banks. But we'd love to know what you have. What changes, positive or negative, have you seen? Traffic is one that we always hear, but I really think we just forget how bad the traffic is every year. And when I say bad, again, you're comparing it to the Outer Banks, not comparing it to a big city where they really have traffic. But each year about this time, all my friends, I say it, it's like, man, traffic's worse than I've ever seen it. I think we just forget over the off season the reality of our traffic. But that definitely has increased over the last 20 years. Where is it heading with that increased exposure? I don't know. But if you've got something, please email us, contact us. We'd love to hear about your opinions of the direction. Where's the Outer Banks heading? What are the changes that you like or maybe didn't like?